As the sun starts to set, we're going to see how much light is left by the end of this early evening game here on the NFL on EA Sports. Up next, it's our main event between the Minnesota Vikings and the Denver Broncos. Has it all teed up, and off we go from Denver. Return coming from the 6. And not a bad place for them to start, up past the 30-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
All right, let's get this one on the road, Brock. It is first and 10. They run it. Here's R.J. Harvey. Well, maybe the rest of the game is going to be headed in the proper direction, Brock, but their first play winds up going backwards. So some immediate revenge for that last play, Brock. I don't know. What do you think? Is it going to take away the pain from giving up that big run the prior play?
Not necessarily, because it really does take a group failure to give up a big run like that in the NFL, but it also takes a whole lot of teamwork to knock them behind the sticks. Job well done there.
Nix from the gun. Completed over the middle. And he is stopped as he reaches that 46-yard line. That one goes for 17 yards and moves the chains.
You want to become a quarterback's best friend, do that. Turn a short little gain, a short little pass into some yards after catch, and that quarterback will find you again.
Bombers.
On the handoff, here's Harvey. We'll cobble together a yard there. Ivan Pace able to make the stop.
Hey, we know running the ball in the NFL is hard, and that play pretty indicative of it. Here's the key, though. At the end of the game, those type of plays got to be in the minority, and the majority have got to do some damage.
Out of the gun, it's Nix. He's going to loft this deep down the left sideline. This one will not connect. That's incomplete. They are testing this coverage on the opening drive. It's holding up so far. Third down. And we're seeing this more and more these days, mixing some deep looks into that opening script. Brock test all levels of the secondary. They held up there.
Yeah, and it's not going to be the last time this defense will be tested. This group likes to push the ball down the field. They answered the call that time.
Kill!
On third down, here's Nix. He has the first over the middle. And he's brought down right in the neighborhood of that 40-yard line. They pick up 14 yards on that one. And that's good for a Broncos first down.
You know, Kate, you'll find teams go to this crossing route concept sometimes a dozen times a game. A lot of times it's for shorter yardage. Sometimes things break in the right coverage for a much bigger impact play, just like that.
So fresh set of downs now from the 39. Here's Travis Etienne on the ground. And he's into the front for a gain of about 2.
I think one thing you learn, Kate, when you transition from college to the NFL, not every run is going to be a big play. Some of them are just destined to end in a minimal gain, and some of them will set up that critical play action for later.
Need a better result than that last run. It's 2nd and 8. Nix off the play action. He finds his running back, R.J. Harvey. And this is near the first down, but they need one more yard now to get it. Third down at the 29.
Rhythm. You hear me talk about rhythm a lot. Whether it's a golf swing, a baseball swing, heck, even a bowler, gets himself into rhythm. And I'm just telling you, Kate, from experience, these little throws to running backs, it's one of the best things to get your offense into rhythm and a nice little gain on top of it.
And he gets this forward to the 19. Even 10-yard gain on the play. And it's going to be first down, Denver. Love the way they decided to keep the drive moving, Brock. Pounding it forward, setting an early tone on this opening drive.
It sure does, both physically and then mentally as well, because you know and I know, successful run often leads to great play-action pass.
Working inside the red zone. Oh, he got hit as he was throwing, and unsurprisingly, it falls incomplete. Second down coming up.
This is why we hear about closing speed so often when you evaluate players. You know, once he senses the pressure, he's getting rid of that ball. It takes a player who can close quickly to get to him before it's released and alter that throw.
Again on 2nd and 10, Nix drops it down, Harvey. And he's stopped as we get closer to our first points of this ball game. It's going to be first and goal now.
If they get a handful of these types of plays per game, the pass game coordinator is going to be one happy camper.
First and goal at the 3-yard line.
They'll try and punch it in. And he gets in. Touchdown. The Broncos finish up an excellent opening series. Well, this coaching staff has got to be a happy partner. A calm and calculated opening drive. Really impressed with the score, how they controlled the football, and they played at their own pace.
Yeah, it's one of those drives that just pays dividends. I know it's the opening drive, but you're just taking some of the starch out of that defense and putting some doubt in their mind. Like, man, they just methodically shoved it right down our throat.
This one is up and good. And the Broncos will jump out to a 7-0 lead.
Vikings nothing.
The kicking unit on now for the Broncos, and they're ready to send it away. And that one flies right on past the end zone. Did not make an effort to even hit the landing zone, Brock. So they're going to gift him a drive starting at the 35. So good field position to start with for the Vikings. It's 1st and 10. Off the play fake. It's McCarthy. And he's brought down at the line.
Defense all over that throw. You could just smell it. They just smelled that football coming their way, and that's as good as an incompletion. They're going to be in a good spot. Second down coming up.
Second and 10. Need something positive here. Out of the shotgun, they'll give it to him inside. He won't be able to get past the line, and very quickly, Brock, they're going to be facing third down to begin this ball game.
You know, Kate, over the years, I've heard running backs say there's just sometimes you got to run into darkness. Just go where there is no lane and hope that something opens along the way. That linebacker said, not this time.
Third down, and they need to get 10. To the air on third and long. That one's caught by Jefferson. Finds a seam, left side. He's off to the races. He does it. Touchdown, Minnesota. The Vikings finish off their opening drive. It's a Justin Jefferson touchdown. He finds one of his great receivers, Brock, and they are off to a great start to begin this ball game.
Yeah, it's such a positive offensively when you can go find not just a field goal, but a touchdown on that opening drive. And defensively, this starts to shake the foundation of your preparation and makes you wonder what's in store.
That one right down the middle. And the Vikings respond with 7 of their own to tie it here early.
Will Reichard to kick off for the Vikings.
So we've got a tie ball game now as they send this away. And he got all of that one out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. We're back, and it is Broncos football as we resume. They'll begin a new drive, 1st and 10. First play of the drive. Here's Harvey. And he powers ahead for about 5. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
That is simply a stay on schedule kind of run. Nothing more, nothing less, just right on schedule.
First down run, nabs him 5. Now 2nd and 5. Harvey once more. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
Go ahead. Find me an offense that won't take that type of efficiency on every snap. Listen, it was good execution, a quality gain, and it moved the sticks.
Ball just a yard shy of midfield. 1st and 10. Staying on the ground here with Harvey. And this play doesn't work out like the last snap, right? So you can only get back to the line. It's defense all over this one.
It'll be this group's job, watching the film, to find all these plays. The ones that amount to really very little statistically and identify what was needed to just make them a little bigger, stretch them further. Afterthought plays now, they could be the big gains of next week.
Shotgun snap to Nix. Hits his running back. And this is marked down right along that 40-yard line. They get an even 10 on that play. And that's good for Broncos first down.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
It's Harvey straight ahead. And into a sea of bodies he goes. Looks like they'll get about 3 out of it.
I know that may look like a whole lot of nothing burger on the stat sheet, but those are the kind of plays, that inside run, that you see creative play action come off of later in the game.
After the 3-yard pickup, it's 2nd and 7. Here's Nix. Has him on the quick hitter. And he gets down to the 24 before he stops. Number 13 on that play. And it's going to be first down Denver.
Nice to see that connection, that chemistry working between the two of them.
And keep this drive moving, partner. Here's another 1st and 10. Shotgun handoff to Harvey. And he'll scurry forward for a pickup of 3.
You know, okay, these are some of the little hidden plays in a game. It doesn't look like a whole lot on the stat sheet, but A, it gets you good yardage, B, it sets up your play action, and C, most importantly, keeps that defense guessing.
Nix now to throw. He finds his back. Harvey. And he's not going to get the first. He made it real close, though. Timmy Brown gets a gain of 5. 3rd down coming up.
Ooh, he knew he was going to pay for throwing that. I knew it from up here in the booth watching that happen. But that's an experienced quarterback. If that first primary target isn't there, make sure you find your safety valve. And that got them some yards, so taking that shot, well, it was not for nothing.
1 yard, all that's needed. This is 3rd and inches. Here's Nix to throw. That's caught for the first. And they'll get this down nearly to the end zone. Instead, stopped at the 2. That's a gain of 13, and it sets them up with 1st and goal.
Kill. Oh, my son.
Hand off to the back. And he's in. Touchdown, Denver. The Broncos get some late points and the lead.
I just love seeing the approach of this entire offense, not settling for anything. Yeah, this running back, he's finding the end zone through the running lanes. Let's give a tip of the cap to the big boys up front because they are setting the tone. 2 drives, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Jones splits the uprights. And the Broncos break that tie and now lead by 7.
Vikings 7.
The kicking unit on now for the Broncos, and they're ready to send it away. Okay, well, that one's over the 20, the landing zone, and almost everything else we got here today. So that football coming out to our 35-yard line. Good field position to start with for the Vikings. It's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, McCarthy. Right side, this is into the hands of Felton. And he has it right near midfield here. It's about a yard short. Big gain, 14 on the play. And that means a fresh set of downs for Minnesota.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Operating from the gun, it's McCarthy. Completed to his running back. It's a race down the right side. And it won't be a touchdown, Brock, but it sure was close. He winds up out of bounds just about a yard shy of the goal line. They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets them up with 1st and goal. Here's the handoff. And he'll bring it to the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. The Vikings earn the chance to tie it before halftime. Reichert on for the point after.
For the extra point.
Extra point set right down the middle. And the Vikings tie things up at 14.
Will Reichert to kick off for the Vikings.
Now after tying this game up, they're all set to send her away. Fielded at the 7. And he's going to take this return out of bounds.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Starting out trips right here. 1st and 10. Throwing here, Nix. Connects on the crosser. And they'll take him down after he advances this up to about the 43. We have a timeout called by the Broncos. That's their first. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
What a jolt to start that drive. They're up near the 45-yard line.
Hold on, son. Ready.
On 1st down, it's Nix. Connection made, Travis Etienne. And he has it up towards midfield before he's taken down at the 47. Broncos have to hurry here, clock still running.
It's now 2nd and 6.
Shotgun snap, they'll throw. That's complete to the rookie out of Alabama. The stop is made, but not until he reaches that 17-yard line. Denver calls the second of its 3 timeouts. And they still have 1 in their pocket for what's left of this half. Thinking touchdown here after that big play. We've got 1st and 10 from the red zone.
Hold on, son. Hold up. Ready. Behind.
Once more, it's Nix. Brought in. And they're going to get this down to the 4 before being stopped. Now the Broncos take their 3rd and final timeout. And that's all they've got for what little remains of this half.
1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
They'll break the huddle and come up on 1st and goal.
Hold on, son. Ready.
Nix to throw again. And they're going to score. Touchdown, Denver. The Broncos take the lead just before beautifully down to the final moments, Brock, and they get the score just before halftime.
That doesn't change the theme of the halftime speech, but I guarantee you it adds some enthusiasm to the tone. That was awesome.
That one right down the middle. And the Broncos break that tie and now lead by 7.
Vikings 14.
Time left for maybe a return plus a play here as they send this away. He fields it from the 8. And a decent run back is going to end as they bring him down inside the 30.
At their own 28-yard line.
Here comes the final play of our first half. Looks like they'll play it safe with a run to the outside. And they'll stop him here, but not before he gets out to the 47-yard line. So we're through 2 quarters now, still a half of football to be played. We'll be back with more of the NFL on EA Sports. The kicking unit on now for the Broncos, and they're ready to send it away. And we'll have to wait at least a few moments longer for an exciting start to this second half. We've got a touchback. Good field position to start with for the Vikings. It's 1st and 10. Lone back gets the handoff. And they're going to bring him down just a moment before he's able to break it across midfield. Pickup of 12 on that play. And the Vikings are going to have a first down.
First down, Vikings.
Off play action. It's McCarthy. Pass is caught. It's T.J. Hawkinson. And he drives this across midfield and down into enemy territory.
That is a textbook first down completion. Sets up second and very manageable and creates space to take that shot downfield.
Offensive line. This is 2nd and 4. Give now to the running back. Good defensive effort here. Drives them back across midfield onto their own side.
What was supposed to move the chains or at least make third down easier to handle instead? Well, did the exact opposite here, Kate. It now makes this third down a whole lot trickier to figure out.
McCarthy throwing on 3rd down. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. His first target doesn't lead to his first catch. And they're going to be stuck with a 4th and long. The Vikings getting their punt team out. He punted 4 times last week in the win, and his first of this week is away. And that's well into the end zone, so a missed chance to stick them near the goal line. Instead, they're going to have the ball at the 20. Broncos to the line now. It's 1st and 10. Give up the middle to Harvey. And he's going to be stopped after reaching up to the 33. It's a 13-yard play, and that's enough for the first.
A run like that, Kate, it just gives everybody a little bit more bounce offensively because you also know it can set the table for more.
First down now, ball at the 33. Harvey headed right. And second down's going to be a good bit tougher. He can't even get back to the line. This play loses yards.
I think this is the part where they run away, Kate. As in run away from that monster. He's just too strong a presence to try to block them inside, and that time, it cost him some yards.
Out of the gun, it's Nix. He just got it away before the hit, but the pass winds up incomplete. It's going to be third down.
Number 86, incomplete. Brings up third down and 13.
Third and long for him here. Into a crowd, and intercepted! And the Vikings are going to have it after his second interception of the season.
At the 41-yard line.
So first down from the 41. From the shotgun, McCarthy. Couldn't connect right side. It's incomplete. Looking for Justin Jefferson on that throw. And it's going to be second down.
I think if you look up in phase in the defensive encyclopedia, that is a picture-perfect form of it. He was all over him in coverage, really forcing the incompletion.
McCarthy trying again on second down. An all-around tough play for him. He took a shot on the release, and it definitely affected the throw. It's incomplete.
Kid, I'm just kind of laughing because I could feel the armchair quarterbacks going, I can make that throw. And anybody who's actually made those throws says you have no idea what it feels like with everybody breathing down your neck. That play's got to be right, timed up right, but it certainly wasn't.
Here he goes, third and long. And he's off the mark there. Too far behind him to adjust. That brings up fourth down.
So many coaches love third downs and practice them so much, Kate. Why? Because they're the money down in the NFL. Whether it's a close game already out of hand, coaches know, got to execute and convert on these third downs.
Vikings will try a field goal on fourth down. Will Reichert headed out. This from the right hash and a considerable distance. And this kick is good. He needed to get all of it there, and he did. And it's dropped back down now to a 4-point game.
I know they love that golf adage, drive for show, putt for dough, but it's awfully nice to drive for show and to have that kind of weapon in your back pocket.
We've got a good one here. They've cut the lead to 4 as they send it away. And he just sends this out and over the end zone. So no threat of a return. They're going to spot the ball at the 35 to begin this drive. Good starting field position for the Broncos as they get ready for first and 10. Here's ETN to begin the drive. And he drives that punt backward on a gain of 4.
You know, Kate, that might be a little bit of a disappointing run to him. He wanted more. They always do. That's exactly what they were after offensively to get this drive moving.
4 yards on that first down run. Here's second and 6. Nix from the gun. That one falls to the turf. Couldn't hang on. It's incomplete.
intended for
Looking for his back, Travis Etienne there. And that brings up third down.
Can't cover it much better than that. Really well covered, Kate, on that play. There just simply was not a window for him to sneak that throw in.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got third down.
Bombers. Over set. Ready. My name is... Joe. Kill.
Third and long, they're going to throw. And that's a win for the pass rush. Hit as he threw it, leads to the incompletion. Fourth down coming up.
It's a point of emphasis in practice each and every week, no matter where we go. How are we going to attack the coverage on third down? They chose the wrong play off that call sheet that time.
And that gets out of bounds down inside the 20. It looks to be at about the 17-yard line.
At their own 17-yard line.
Vikings to the line now. Here's 1st and 10. Plowing up the middle. And he only manages one. Couple of defenders there to bring him down.
That's the kind of yardage that's not going to kill this drive on the first play, but it does put you a little bit behind schedule. Now second down becomes critical because nobody wants a 3 and out.
Last run, not a lot of help, Brock. 9 to go now on second down. The play clock runs out. This will be a delay. Can't get the play off in time, and I'm going to wager the call's going to come in much quicker, Brock, for this next snap. All right, here we go. Second down.
Track and 60.
The play fake. It's McCarthy. Lasers this one deep down the middle. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. He was trying to find Ty Felton with that one. And things look tougher now with third and long.
This defense, they had a plan. And they've done an excellent job executing it. Instead of a main character, they've reduced this receiver to a footnote. Kudos to the job collectively on defense.
On third and long, it's McCarthy. He's able to hit Felton. This is caught. And some excellent work to drive them all the way up past the 30-yard line. How about that play, Brock? On third and 14, they find a way to convert.
This entire play, Kate, depends on how well he can separate from his man. You get man-to-man coverage, it's really about two things: separation and trust. Because QBs want to throw it before he breaks. That's the trust. And then they got to believe that separation can create the big play down the field.
Good running here on first down as he works his way forward for about 8.
Some offenses, well, they prefer to go run in that RPO situation. It's a safer call, a little more conservative. But in this case, it gets him just as many yards as a short completion would have.
3 quarters in the books from this one. It's Vikings football. They're down, but not out on the scoreboard. Offense is set. This is 2nd and 2. On play action now, McCarthy. Hits his running back. He has this down to the 34. That goes as a gain of 25 yards and picks up the first.
From a great throw to a nice route catch to moving the chains, there wasn't a whole lot not to like about that amazing play.
So they'll head up here, 1st and 10 from the 34. Right up the gut. And his effort results in maybe 2 yards, but nothing more.
If there's ever a play we can call garden variety in the NFL, I think we just saw it right there. That's an uneventful run and a pretty sound stop there defensively.
Following that little 2-yard run, it's 2nd and 8.
19 tight. 19. Here we go. Here we go. 70 Timberwolves. 79 Broncos. Warriors 70. 60 Bobcats. 60 Bobcats.
Back to throw. Here's McCarthy. Pass is caught at the 9. He will not score, but that does set him up, Brock, with 1st and goal, less than a yard away from the end zone.
He just made a difficult throw to the outside. Look elementary, Kate, and that's not easy. The placement is excellent. It helps set his target up to put some more yards on that stat sheet.
McCarthy on the sneak. He runs it across. Touchdown! The Vikings take a 4th-quarter lead. J.J. McCarthy the touchdown on a quarterback sneak to the end zone. Missed to go up by a field goal here in the 4th. His kick is good, for the moment at least, as we've got a flag down on the field. I think they're going to get him for hitting the kicker. So they got him for roughing the kicker. They're going to put that penalty yardage on the spot of the ensuing kickoff.
Will Reichard to kick off for the Vikings.
Here's Reichard set to kick this away. He's got the squiver. He's going well so far. He showed some nice bursts on that run back, didn't he? Getting them all the way out to their own 40.
Trailing by 1 score late here, Kate. Maybe this is the return. Maybe this is what helps them get right back into it. Good field position now to start their most important series yet of this game.
1st and 10. It's Harvey. And they blow up the opening play of this drive. Love the aggressiveness from this defense. Goes to the hurry up here.
It's a loss of 2. Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 38-yard line.
Nick Snad, a throw. Completed over the middle. And he's short of the first after a mile gain.
There's no question, Kate, big plays down the seam or big tight ends, a fan favorite, but it's those type of catches right there. The short yardage gets good coverage, contested catches that really make tight ends a locker room favorite.
Let's see what they draw up on this 3rd and 7. He's back to throw. Really fired that one, but they couldn't connect.
You never ever as an offense like 3 and outs, Kate, but you really don't like them on 3rd down when you throw into tight coverage like that. Got to manufacture a better look.
Down a score. They're going to go for this on 4th down. Desperation time here. He finds it beyond the marker. And they're going to hold him down just shy of the 40. They hit for 16 yards on 4th down and a drive. A lot of us thought it stalled out. He's going to carry on.
As a quarterback, you just know in that situation when you go for it on 4th down, it may mean sometimes throwing into double coverage. But if you're going to go for it, at least give your guy a shot to make a play. And against really long odds, he came up with a big-time catch.
And they bring him down, but not before he advances it all the way to the 20. It's a gain of 21 yards to pick up that 1st down.
I think my favorite part was the magic he worked after the catch. The way he took the completion and made so much more out of it by adding all the extra yardage.
They look set now. Here we go, 1st and 10.
Hold on, set. Ready. Captain. Joe.
Throwing again. Here's Nix. This could decide things. It's intercepted. And the Vikings will take over as he records his first interception of our season. There are costly interceptions, Brock, and then there are interceptions inside the red zone in the second half of a one-score game.
And if there is ever a time where ball security is paramount, it is right now. They made a great play. Don't get me wrong. They deserve a ton of credit right there. But as a quarterback, you cannot risk a turnover. It's touchdown, it's check down, it's throw the ball away. You're literally throwing points away with that pick.
Half the 60. Do it again.
They'll run here on 1st down. And that's an 8-yard chunk to start this one. That brings up 2nd and 2.
Cool thing about a drive starting to run like that, Kate, is it really just gives you every opportunity to play with whatever you want to do. But as for me, I like to reward that runner. Give it to him again and see if he can get you a new set of downs.
Back-to-back carries here. And that short gain is enough for a new set of downs. Offense getting set. Here's 1st and 10. Another carry for him. And he'll come up with a gain of 3 on the run up the middle. With 1:54 remaining, the defense burns a timeout.
He'll expect more from himself on those type of plays, but there is nobody that's going to complain about that one. If you can do math, 4 + 4 + 4 equals a 1st down.
Cowboy 80. Trap 60.
They're going to pass it here. Finds him over the middle. This one nearly moves the chains, but he stopped just shy of that marker. 6-yard pickup brings up 3rd down.
It's not just imperative that a quarterback knows man or zone. Same thing for a receiver, especially on a drag route. When he sees zone coverage like that, just settle down, find the soft spot, and give your quarterback a chance.
He has it on the QB sneak. They're loaded and ready for that sneak, weren't they? They stop him at the line. No gain.
Kate, is there a simpler play in football that's come to life more than the QB sneak? We see all different varieties now, but it has become so darn effective. When you've got a tough QB that wants to put it on his shoulders, you sign up for it.
New set of downs. Here we go. 1st and 10.
Viking 18. Cup 19. Ready?
Blown back in the backfield, and they give it to him. And that should just about do it, folks. They take it in for the touchdown, and that should lock up this win. So that should be the one that does it, Brock. A big one late that puts them up here 2 scores.
What a complete performance overall. The clock where it is and where it stands right now, Kate, that should be the capper. And that is so satisfying as an offense to go up 2 scores.
And the kick is good. And we're going to have some extra yardage added to the kickoff on the roughing call.
Will Reichard to kick off.
Here's Reichard set to kick this away. And this is going to bounce out of the end zone, so they will set up shop to the 35.
At their own 35-yard line.
Good starting field position for the Broncos as they get ready for 1st and 10. Shaking off the pick quickly. He's going to throw. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And after one play, this drive might already be in trouble. And it's going to push him back for 2nd down. Denver calls the second of its 3 timeouts. And they're still going to have 1 left at their disposal. A lot of work to do as that sack makes this a tough 2nd and 17. Shotgun snap to Nix. They left him wide open. It's complete. And he fights his way down to the 35 before the defense can get him out. A big 34-yard pickup there. And that's good for Broncos' 1st down. New set of downs from the 37.
Bombers. To the right. Captain.
On 1st down, it's Nix. And this won't be caught. Clock is going to stop. We've got 14 seconds to go.
That's a throw at this level. So much speed and length, you got to be real careful. Rarely do you find a clean window down the middle. Got to be absolutely perfect, and it wasn't there.
Again on 2nd and 10, Nix sends this to the end zone. And that's going to fall incomplete. We're down to 9 seconds left.
You know what that route is called, right, Kate? ODB, over the ball. And those are the ones you've got to hit. You've got to be able to play offense from the inside out. Got to find a completion right there.
No connection on the last play, and now it's 3rd down. Now to throw. Taking a final shot at the end zone. They don't connect there, and now just 3 seconds showing on the clock. Didn't see a whole lot of room to fit that pass in, Brock. It takes a special quarterback to thread the needle. He couldn't do it.
You know what that's like? That's like passing across your own crease in hockey, Kate. That's a big no-no. When you challenge double coverage in the end zone, and let me tell you, coaches don't really like that either.
One final shot here. Trying to push deep downfield. He connects downfield. And he's going to be chased down about a step before that goal line. Well, Brock, wouldn't have affected the outcome, but what an effort defensively all the way to the end as this game is over. So the Vikings pick up the win on the road. And it was a game for fans of high-scoring football, wasn't it? I know Brock was enjoying seeing both of these offenses work. And